Hi, this is Russell Stannard from teachertrainingvideos.com. Over the last couple of days I've been doing some quite big webinars, sometimes with 1,000 people in the room, and I've been presenting one particular technology and a lot of the teachers have said, wow, we never knew about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one great technology today that you can combine if you're doing a live session with Zoom or with one of the webinar tools. Lots of fun and brilliant for getting the students involved, so we can really get the students engaged, make this lesson much more student-centered. And I'm going to take you through the stages of how you would do this. It's going to be a really practical session, loads of ideas, but just one super easy technology. Let's start by showing you that technology, and then we'll start looking at how we could organize a lesson. Hope you like the video. As always, if you do, please like it. Please share it with other teachers, really important at the moment. Please, any comments, put them in the section below. I'm trying to keep up with all the comments. And if you really like what you see, then come and join me on my teachertrainingvideos.com website and on the YouTube channel. Let's get started. Now, the lesson would start with probably something quite teacher-centered, so you doing a little bit of a presentation I'm going to show you now. This is a lovely technology, and then afterwards you can do an activity around that and then get the students to do the same thing in breakout rooms. So let me just take you through it. Let's just show you this amazing technology. It's Google Earth. I'm going to take you to the Google Earth, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a presentation, and then I'm going to get you to do a little activity afterwards. So I'm just going to write in up here on Google Earth. I'm going to write, in fact I've got it here already, so I won't need to write it. Just going to write the name of the football stadium of my favorite football club, and off we go. We fly off to that football stadium. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit of information about this football stadium and why it means so much to me. I can actually kind of come in a bit closer if I want to by just using the zoom tool. Okay, so I can do that. I can also click in 2D or click in 3D. All right, we'll leave it on 3D. I'm just going to tell you a little bit of information. So we can take our students anywhere. So I'm bringing them to Stamford Bridge. I first went to Stamford Bridge in 1972. Chelsea is the home, Stamford Bridge is the home of Chelsea Football Club, my football club. That game, 1972, the first game of the season, Chelsea beat Leeds United 4-0. And at the time, they were actually building this stand here, which is called the East Stand. It was actually being built. So the ground only had 3 sides, and there were 55,000 people in a stadium with just 3 sides, and I hardly saw anything. Chelsea won 4-0. So I was very happy about that, and at the time I was just 7 years old, so I was really kind of short. I didn't really get to see. I just saw maybe just a couple of minutes of the game. Stamford Bridge is actually the name of a very famous battle that took place in England, and Stamford Bridge is situated, though Chelsea is the name of the football club, Stamford Bridge is actually situated in Fulham. So you can see how easy I can just do this presentation and bring this to life, and I can do this kind of little tour and zoom around and look at it, and I can go 2D. I can even, if I want to go in really close, if I want to show something about it, I could even say, for example, just stop there. I even take the people onto the road and show you how I enter the ground. So I'm going to click here. It's now going to bring me down to the level, and I'm going to show you this is the entrance that I use to actually go into Stamford Bridge. And even we can pop into the ground and have a quick look as well, because we have the button here, can actually move forward and go into the ground if we wanted. So this is Stamford Bridge, and this is the home of Chelsea Football Club. So now I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to come back, and what I've done now is that I've already got an interactive whiteboard activity ready. And what I would do now is get the students to talk about the different numbers and the different points that I made. So they might say, for example, 4-0 was the result of the match. 1972 was when you first went to see a football game. 3 sides because there was only 3 sides to the stadium. 7 years old because you were 7 years old. Fulham because that's where the football ground is situated. 55,000 because that is the number of people that was at the game, and Stamford Bridge is the name of a famous battle and the name of the stadium. So a really simple, fairly teacher-centered activity. But now, of course, we could get our students to do the same. They could go off into groups, okay, we could put them in breakout rooms and get them to present a famous place, a famous stadium, a monument, etc. Just to show you how powerful Google Earth is. I'm just going to quickly take you off and have a quick look and just show you that literally we could just take anybody anywhere. So I could click on here, for example, and since I'm British, I'll keep on the theme of England. So I'm going to click here and click on Big Ben. This is one that I presented the other day, and off we go to Big Ben, and there we are. And again, I could now talk about it, and I could perhaps talk about the different things. Big Ben, where the bell is, the tower, that this is Westminster Bridge, here is Parliament Square, this is the Houses of Parliament. Don't forget, I can even again go down onto ground level if I want to particularly focus on one thing. So you can really literally just, so one thing is you could do an example, get the students to talk about it, and then get the students themselves. If we just click on there as well, you can see that we've got the Millennium Wheel or the London Eye over there on the left hand side. You know, we can bring the character right down onto the screen here. Say perhaps I want to put them right down by the Millennium Wheel. So I'm going to just drop them there, and off we fly now and zoom down. It's a great tool to look at and see that the potential of how you could do activities. So now the students could be, we're right up against the wall there, but if we turn around, we'll see right in front of the Millennium Wheel now. This could be an activity, for example, that the students prepare at home. So they've already prepared and taken some notes. Then you might do an activity first and then say, right, I'm going to put you into breakout rooms and get you now to speak and talk about the place that you've chosen. So then they would have some content. And this is really important when we're looking at working with tools like Google Earth, Google Maps. Maybe we're actually doing the preparation stage at home, and then the students are coming in the class with something prepared, and then you're going to put them into groups. And important when you do this, though, is to make sure that you teach the students how to actually screen share. So one thing that's really important about this activity, and we'll just stop sharing and we'll come back in a minute and talk a little bit more about how you can use Google Earth, but you do need to click here, click on advanced sharing options, and make sure that all participants can share their screens. Then when they go into breakout rooms, they will be able to open up Google Earth, because it's just googleearth.com, go to Google Earth and then present a monument, a place they went on holiday. It really is a useful technology. Again, I really like the idea of the students preparing this at home and then presenting to the rest of the class or presenting in breakout rooms. And it's really nice, for example, if they have some activity linked to it. That is something you'd need to think about how you're going to structure it. So they might just have 1 or 2 minutes to present their monument or favorite place or somewhere they went on holiday to the rest of the group, and then maybe they've got a little activity or some questions to ask, or you may bring the students back into the main room and say, right, okay, tell me, what did Peter talk about, what did Maria talk about, etc. You'd have to think about the ideas you can do, but this really brings to life the Earth. It brings to life the places that they might live in or be aware of. It might bring to life, for example, the capital city of their country or monuments or anything. Just to sort of take it a little bit further and just to show you some of the examples that I've done in the past. So I've got, I was just looking here. I did one a little while ago, actually in a live lesson, where I simply wrote in the name of the place that I've been on holiday. So I'm just going to click here, and again, off we go. Fly off to Krabi, where I was on holiday. It's going to bring me into Krabi. And in fact, if I was to really show you this, and just because it's probably interesting to you to see how powerful this is, I can come in and actually go right down, hopefully, to the area where I was staying. It really is incredible how powerful this technology is. So just come down even closer, just going to show you. So that is actually where I was staying, on this beach here. Okay, so this beach along here, I'm going to come right in close. And what I can do once I've done that is I can then actually, again, drop my character onto the screen and have a look. So let's just drop down here, for example. In fact, I can even go on the beach. Look at that. So let me drop myself right onto the beach. And now we drop down. And if we turn around, there it is. And that is where I was recently on holiday. Great fun. Really brings what I like about it is that you can use this to really personalize things, visit monuments, visit locations. You know, it really can bring your favorite football stadium, the place you went to school. There's all sorts of things that you could do with this. But what you're thinking of, yes, it's nice for you to do a presentation as the teacher and to show this, but can you get the students to do the same? Now, this technology is a bit internet heavy. One thing I'd really suggest that you do if you're going to do this is tell the students to turn off their webcams when you're doing this, okay? Because it's going to give you more options in terms of the bandwidth and how much you can actually share on the screen. It is a little bit internet heavy. You do need a fairly good connection for this to work well, but it's a great tool. I've used it many times in live classes, and only recently I've been experimenting in kind of online context, and I think it's got lots of potential if you move it from a teacher-centered activity to a student-centered activity. Just a couple of really simple tips about this. First of all, always in the settings when you create your Zoom room, you need to turn the breakout room on. If you don't know where that is, just look on settings and scroll down, and it's kind of the first advanced setting. You've got lots and lots of settings in Zoom. For me, there's almost too many, but it's the first one here. You need to make sure that that button is clicked. That's really important. So now the students can go into breakout rooms. And there's just one other tip. Don't forget, students will need to have Google Earth open. So when they click on share, the Google Earth will actually be there available on the screen. Well, how do you do that? Well, it's really easy. All you need to do is write googleearth.com in the chat window and tell them to click on it. And that means that when they open up share screen, it will be available. Let me just show you. So I'm simply going to click on Google Earth. Share the link to Google Earth in the chat window and click on enter. Now, if the students click on that, okay, it's going to open up Google Earth. That's absolutely fine. Tell them to come back to the actual Zoom presentation. Now, when they click open, Google Earth will be there, and they'll be able to share it with their students when they're in their breakout rooms. So it is important that either before they start the lesson, they've opened up Google Earth like this in preparation. All they need to do when they do that is click on Launch Earth. The Earth launches, and then all they need to do to actually find anywhere that they want to visit is just simply open up the search. We're actually in Krabi at the moment, so let's just come out. To come out, we click on this button here. I will put some extra videos about Google Earth. To search for somewhere, you literally just click here and then click on the place that you want to visit. For example, very recently, I was just looking at Versailles Palace in Paris, or just outside of Paris, and it's actually fantastic the way that this has been modeled. Again, you can come really in close. You can use these controls to bring yourself right into the palace, okay, and have a look at the Versailles Palace if you want to. Okay, you're going to see in a minute. And then the nice thing to do is to click on the 3D mode, because it kind of brings you around, gives you an idea of just how extensive that is and how big the gardens are, etc. Great tool, combines with Zoom really, really well. But remember what I'm saying, link it to what the students are doing outside of the class. Maybe they prepare their presentations outside of the class. Make sure you get the students to turn off their webcams for this. They will need their audio, of course, because they'll be describing the place that they want to show to the rest of their friends. But it's got lots and lots of potential. Hope that video was useful. Please come to teachertrainingvideos.com. Don't forget there's the free online course that's been developed between Teacher Training Videos and Nile. I think something like 2,000 teachers now doing that course. Lots of free technologies here at the top of the screen. And if you want to follow my work, please sign up to my newsletter, and please join me on YouTube as well. I think we're up to around 20,000 subscribers now. Thank you very much.